Crypto. My name is Ben. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the people's channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest, that has not been proven more this week, I don't know what has, crypto community in all of the interwebs. About to hit 1 million on Twitter. Thank you everybody for following us on Twitter. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. No channel is more OCD and ADD at the same time. You see a squirrel, you never know what rant you're going to get. It is Thursday, November 17th. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check your clocks, guys. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys know we're here every single day. My name is Ben. Today, we are going to be covering what is going on in the crypto space because, hey, that's what we do every single day. We're also going to be getting into, at the very end, we've got Reef coming on. Now, if you don't know who Reef is, or Reef is a project, guess who screwed Reef? We're going to find out a little bit more about that. We had a lot yesterday with our interview with Hussein, and this is what I want you guys to take away from this, okay? Number one, we are in the process of putting together an evidence package that is going to be going out to authorities, okay? We're also going to have some evidence packages we're going to distribute to some other content creators. We have some we're going to distribute, excuse me, on the internet for people to see. Carver Coin with Super Chat. Don't forget the ETH charts this time, not just BTC. You heard that, Frank? Frank heard it. Frank heard y'all. But we're going to be doing this evidence package. We're going to be putting stuff together for authorities to see. And, I think for people to understand what happened yesterday with this interview, what is so powerful about this is it shows a methodical and strategic plan by Alameda to crush projects that they partnered with. So that within itself is not necessarily a crime, right? It's crappy. It's a terrible thing to do. You're destroying a project that for 10 years they worked on that, had not released the coin, had not made a dime on it, did not have an ICO. Coin had not traded for less than 35 cents, I guess, between their miners. It gets shorted down to 1 cent. The key is how they did it. The key is with an inflated artificial supply on the exchange. This is not paper Bitcoins like you see with the derivatives markets on Bitcoin. This is an exchange that is supposed to have a certain amount of crypto on it. And here's where the real crime is. They've inflated their total amount of crypto that they own by creating these paper coins. It's literally counterfeiting. It's counterfeiting. I think you're going to see there's RICO laws here. There's racketeering laws. There's tax evasion. There's wire fraud. All of this stuff, definitely occurred on FTX and Liquid as well. Don't forget Liquid. Liquid is owned by FTX. But I hope everybody got the message. There's a lot more coming out about this. And Hussein last night was on some Twitter Spaces talking about this. Who heard the Twitter Spaces I was on last night? Or let me think of a better way to ask this. Who listened to the Twitter Spaces? Who listened to the Twitter Spaces last night? So I saw you on here saying that I lisp on Twitter Spaces. Yeah. That's incorrect, sir. Who heard the woman that I got into it with? What an idiot. I'm sorry. I have no patience for people like that. I have no patience. This is not, I want people to understand, this is not a difference of opinion here. Let me tell you what she tried to say. She tried to say, well, there's a lot of influencers, including yourself, that talked about coins that they might have either rug pulled or disappeared, or you have influencers talking about BlockFi and Celsius and Voyager. So since these influencers get a second chance, shouldn't we give Sam Bankman-Fried a second chance? What in the actual is wrong with you?
Craziness.
That's insane. This is not a difference of opinion. That is factually insane that a person, in this fact, this woman, could think that. And of course, I said on the Twitter Space, are they paying you? Is Sam paying you right now?
Right.
Guys, I want you to really break this down here, okay? And people were sending me this comment. And they said, well, Ben, you're a Christian, right? Shouldn't you forgive? Shouldn't you give a second chance? Guys, what is wrong with you? Can you not see this? Let me tell you what. Okay. If there is a pedophile, if there's a known child molester, okay, should we give them a second chance? Should we forgive them? Certainly you can forgive. You can forgive anybody for anything. There's nothing that's unforgivable, right? To forget, well, that's a totally different thing. If you find out that a person at your child's daycare molested your child at the daycare, You give that person a second chance? What a second chance? Go ahead,
yeah.
Drew. Is Drew running the board today?
Yeah, I'm on the board.
Oh, Drew. So we love Drew.
What's up, everybody? As
Wow.
a father of 4, that's pretty much impossible for me to forgive. Absolutely.
Right. So, but the idea is, can you give somebody a second chance? Right. That's a hard forgive. That's a hard sell on forgiveness. But you can forgive in that case, because when you realize when you hold on to unforgiveness, it's really you that hurts in reality. You know, people say the quote, like, it's like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die. That's what holding on to unforgiveness is. A second chance is different. So when we give someone a second chance who's a child molester, this means we allow them to reintegrate into society with limits, okay? What are these limits? This person is not able to be within this many feet of a school. This person is not able to work within these types of jobs. This person is able to integrate into society, and yet they are going, yeah, I am comparing SBF to a predator because he is a financial predator. He is a financial predator. This is very important. This is why this comparison is totally dead on here. Yes, he didn't molest children. I'm talking about child molesters. Why? Because this is in our society kind of the worst thing we think that someone can do, right? That's why I think this is a fair comparison, because what he did, stealing $8 billion from customer funds, financially is the worst thing that someone can do. I see the super chats, guys. I can't get to all of them right now because I really want to make this point here, okay? Giving a child molester a second chance in society means every time they move a place, people in the area get alerted. That means you can go to familywatchdog.org, I think it is. I think it's familywatchdog.org.
Yep.
And you can see all the child molesters and predators that live in your area, okay? They're marred forever by that. But yes, they get a second chance. Yes, Sam Bankman-Fried can get a second chance, meaning after he's punished for his crimes with prison, doing at least probably 5 to 10 years, I would say, at least, maybe a life sentence and then get it reduced, whatever it is. I think he should probably do about, well, if you go by the fact the guy who created Silk Road got 10 years or got 2 life sentences, then Sam should be put away for 94 life sentences. But if we're going off probably what's fair, he should probably do 10 to 15 years in prison, in my opinion. That's probably about what it equates to the fraud that he did. And then he can get a second chance. And by second chance, he gets to reintegrate into society. He gets to live in a normal house. He gets to have a job or open a business, but he doesn't get to operate in finance. He doesn't get to operate in technology. Just like Ross Ulbricht, part of his sentence is he's not allowed to use technology. He's not ever allowed to be on the internet again, okay? That's what a second chance is. And for somebody to sit here and listen to what he did to destroy people's lives and say, BlockFi went down and people promoted that, he should have a second chance. Guys, Peter McCormick did not have access to customer funds to steal them from BlockFi.
Exactly.
Pump did not steal your money, okay? SBF did. And what he did with that money is a whole other story. The fact that he used that money in order to fund the Democratic Party for their elections, which, guys, I'm not trying to make this political. That's factual. That's factual. We know this. And people made the comparison when I can't remember if it was you or somebody, Drew, put out something about the fact that Cryptology there says, I can give SBF a second chance after 25 years in prison and banned from using the internet for life. I can hire him as a gardener. Bingo. Bingo, bongo. Exactly. Yes. But somebody put out a tweet and said that, the biggest donors to the Democratic Party over the last several years have been Bernie Madoff, Jeffrey Epstein, and now SBF. And there was some pushback on that from people saying, well, yeah, we think Putin gave all this money to the Republican Party. Okay, guys, this isn't about which party the money went to necessarily. This is about what factually happened. Right. And so we can point fingers and we can say, look what this party did and look who did. But that's not what we're talking about right now, okay? Jordan Belfort, the wolf behind crypto. I'll be honest, I've seen Wolf of Wall Street. All I remember is the Quaalude scene, I think. Maybe there was a little person thrown on a target or something. I can't really, that's some stuff that I remember. I don't remember the details and the ins and outs of the Ponzi that he created. I would need to literally see the numbers that he stole from people in order to fund that, to be able to make that decision. But yes, I agree. Most likely part of a sentence for him should have been something similar, that he's not allowed to be in finance. I don't know.
He is.
What's that?
Yet here he is. He's in the financial news.
Here he is. So I didn't track that story the way I've tracked the FTX story, so I can't speak with confidence on what I feel like should or should not have happened with him. I speak very confidently on what should or should not have happened with Ross Ulbricht. He should probably have done about 10 years in prison. He should be getting out soon. That's what it should be, instead of life sentence or creating a website when you have rapists that get off and don't even go to prison.
Right.
Like, guys, come on, let's use a little common sense here.
Right.
But the fact is here, when it comes to this situation, what SBF did is absolutely terrible. Where the money went, it's a bad situation. All that stuff's going to be investigated, I'm sure. Actually, I know that it is. But we can't give this guy a second chance in crypto or in finance. That can never, ever happen. And any person who tells you that, put a poll up. I want to put a poll up in this chat right now, Drew. And I want to ask, do you feel like SBF should ever be allowed in crypto or finance again? And I want to see the yes and the no. Because however many yeses there are, we know those are bots. A normal person cannot, with a brain, cannot believe that he deserves a second chance in crypto. Like, that's insane. Makes zero sense. So saw some of those super chats. Thank you to Crypto Savvy for coming in, talking about bubble pops. We know Crypto Savvy. He was messaging me this morning. $20 super chat he put there. Go up a little bit on the chat. Yeah, bounce that off there. Go up a little bit on the chat. Up, a little bit more. Okay, I can't find it. I was looking for something. I can't find it. But the idea is, I don't think he deserves a second chance. We'll see. Look, 95% no. Yeah. And guys, and I bet that is not going to change very much. Maybe I'll go down to 92%. I want to put the same poll on Twitter right now. I'm going to put the same poll on Twitter, and I want to see what the responses on Twitter are going to be.
I'd say 20% will say yes.
Bots. Bots. I'm telling you, there isn't a person alive who can see what he did and from a logical perspective say he deserves a second chance to be back in finance or crypto. Not a person. But what you're going to notice is, you're going to notice a difference in our poll here and the poll on Twitter. That difference is the amount of bots that live on Twitter. I guarantee it, guys. And look, I know for a fact, like, this is not, I'm not making stuff up. I hope you guys have figured out, when I say something's a fact, it's a fact. I've been saying the stuff for FTX for weeks. Nobody listened. Now people are starting to come around, okay? I know for a fact these bots for these polls are rampant on Twitter. Yeah. And even on YouTube here. If we watch that number, and that number changes dramatically within about a 5-minute period, same exact thing here. Because we know yesterday is a lot of people, I didn't know this, a lot of people were live streaming our chat with Hussein yesterday, which we got Reef coming on later today. Formerly Reef Finance or Reef Chain. Now it's just Reef. Coming on and talk about what SBF did to them. Crypto Arbitrage University says, thank you for being an actual journalist. Thank you. No training. I slept at a Holiday Inn Express last night, though. But what you'll see is, I know for a fact that these bots are rampant on these polls. And so let's put it out right now on Twitter. I'm going to say, do you believe that SBF deserves a second chance in crypto/finance? And let's see what the poll results of this are going to be, because I'm going to be, I'm so interested to see the differences in this poll and that poll. Because that Autism Capital account, and I'm telling you this, I don't know for a fact, ironclad proof, the Autism Capital is Sam and a collection of trusted employees at FTX. But I've been told by people that work there that is them. So that's what I have. I can't show you with a documented case like I can show you the documentation when it comes to showing you the stuff that they did to Hussein and New Genesis, and what they did to Reef, and what they did to Casper, and what they did to ICP, and what they did to Aptos, which, I've been told Aptos may have been involved in that too. I'm not 100% clear on that. But I can't show you documented proof, but I can tell you, I'm pretty sure Autism Capital is them too. I'm almost positive on that. The only question is, do I believe my sources or not on that information? So
I feel like they have some pretty front-running information. They're able to break stuff
100%
pretty quick.
Well, to me, the thing that is very damning about that Autism Capital account is when you go and you look at Aptos. Aptos is a great example of this, okay? When you go to Aptos and you look at the time frame at which it was shorted, okay, by FTX and destroyed the launch, and you go and you look at the Autism Capital account, and you look at that same time frame, and you'll find about 5 tweets about Aptos being a scam.
Right.
It's propaganda, guys. They fight it with the propaganda. That's what they're doing. So very, very, very concerning stuff. Somebody says, I'm not a bot. I'm a human being. Signed, SBF. So we'll see what happens with our poll over here. Oh, my wife is here. Honey, can you come on camera for a minute? Come over here, hun. I want to bring my wife on camera here. Come on, hun.
Hey,
You
Beth.
look cute today. You're wearing green. Is that because today's a good critic? Come here, hun. Hey, honey. This is my wife. Say hello.
Hi. Hi.
Honey, a lot of people are wondering. They're wanting me to go down to the Bahamas and hog tie SBF and bring him up here. Well, hog tie might be what I want to do. And you have famously said, no, I'm not allowed to do that. Can you explain why I cannot go down to the Bahamas and get SBF?
Because you can't? Because I said no?
Can you be louder?
That's my answer. Because I said no. Because I don't want you to go down there.
Why? What do you think is going to happen?
Because I just like let the authorities do their jobs.
You saw the people on that poll that I put up that said, let the authorities do their jobs?
Is minimal.
Here's the face of what this looks like. This is her. Okay. She wants the authorities to do their jobs. I disagree. Okay.
She
Look,
cares.
it looks like you're peeping and creeping. Your eyes are right in the middle of the microphone. Okay. Well, thank you. I will respect your wishes. Get out of here. So
Keeping him safe.
yeah. Okay. All right. So she won't let me go. I want to go. I really want to go down there and hog tie him. 93% to 6. There you go.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary thinks he deserves a second chance for Lucho. No, he doesn't. He's lying. He doesn't believe he deserves a second chance. He's trying to hammer his own image. Honey, am I going to be in trouble later for that? People in the chat are asking. She said no because she knew she was going to say no already, and she says no. So we cannot change her mind on this. So over here, it's very interesting. Over here on Twitter, you can see so far it's 92.6. So the numbers are showing up. But watch these Twitter polls. These numbers change dramatically very quickly. Now, the fact that we're actively calling out bots as we're doing this, maybe it will prevent them from coming and actually taking on this poll because we're watching for it. I want everybody on Twitter to be watching this poll. It's a 24-hour poll. See if things destroy or see if things change dramatically in a short period of time. BitBoy restored my faith in mankind. I changed my name and I'm buying Bitcoin. Well, there you go. Let's go. 100%. All right. So there we go. I can't believe that 7.5%. Like that's still insane. 7% in here is still insane that you would think that. So there we go. Okay. And also, guys, I did want to point out on BitBoy on our YouTube channel, if you come over here to the community poll, we've actually been putting out polls recently on here. Yo, BitSquad, which would you rather receive? These are things we're actually doing and we'll actually take into consideration. Is we've got a lot of very big, exciting stuff coming up. Which would you rather receive? So this is some stuff we're trying to figure out. People want a small bag of crypto still to this day, which is amazing. Because Jose Rosario says my wife is cute. Well, thanks. That's why I married her. Thanks.
See?
And also, not only did I marry her because she was cute, but I also married her because she was the only woman on earth that would agree to date me. Back then I was poor. Now there's a lot more that would probably say okay. So, okay. All right. Don't forget to check out our book, Catching Up to Crypto. We are finalizing the dates for the tour. Okay. We are going to do a book tour. You've got to have the pre-order to come to the tour. So you got to order it ahead of time. We talked about the cities. You need to go watch the video. By the end of this week, we're going to have a finalized date. It's going to be the last full week in January, first full week in February. And then at the end of February, we're going to do a few additional dates. We're going to be doing New York, Philadelphia, London, and Miami, I think the last week of February. So you guys will pay attention to that. All the other cities we mentioned, they will be in that 2-week range. It looks like the order we're going to go in is going to be San Francisco, LA, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Denver, Austin, Chicago, Minneapolis, Boston, D.C. Am I missing a city?
I think you covered them.
Somebody go look on the board in there and see if I'm missing the city.
Globetrotting.
Yeah, so that's I think that's the order we're going to go in. We're going to do 6 nights in a row. That's big. That's big. So you guys make sure to check out the book, Catching Up to Crypto. You can get it here. We believe this is the book that crypto needs. This is not me trying to just make a book, sell a book for the purpose of it. You guys don't know, we don't do things without having purpose here on the channel. And this book is what is going to catch up you and your family to crypto if you haven't been around since 2012 like I have. All right, let's go check out the markets here. I know there's a long intro today, but a lot of stuff to talk to. Atlanta. We'll also be doing Atlanta. We'll be doing Atlanta at a random date because Atlanta was a city I missed, wasn't it? Or was there another one?
Let's see. We got Miami, LA, San Francisco, Denver, Las Vegas, Phoenix. Let's see here. Chicago, Atlanta, Minneapolis, DC, Boston. And then Austin, Texas.
Yeah. So I hit them all there. So that's great. So you have to get the pre-order. So go make sure you get out the book to go to the pre-order there. So here we go. Bitcoin, $16,635. Right now, we got the market cap, 830 billion. Thank you, Michael Snelling, for the super chat. Thank you for all the super chats. Just can't catch them all today. Try to catch them from here on out. 52 billion in volume, 38.5 Bitcoin dominance. It's on the way up a little bit. Dominance for ETH, 17.8%. Tim Paraguays will send an ETH transaction. Let's see. When is Denver? It should be the very end of January. Should be about what that is. So, what are those? What's the 999 super chat? The 999 one? You just click it. Yeah. Ben, I've been in that Twitter space and told them about you the day before. I've been spreading the knowledge and telling everyone to get a ledger. When you come to Phoenix, I'm buying dinner. Well, appreciate that. We're going to be in these cities quick. We're going to be in and out. We're going to be coming from about 6 to 9 p.m. We don't have the exact locations of each one yet, but we're really excited about it. Can't wait for you guys to get the book and get your hands on it. It's going to be great. More excited for your families because a lot of you guys already know about crypto. A lot of you would like to catch up. I think it's going to be great. And a lot of you want to support the channel. Appreciate that. If you want bulk orders, by the way, Nick D at hitnetwork.com. Nick D at hitnetwork.com. He can help you manage those bulk orders if you have a class or you teach, in college or high school and you want to get these family-friendly book, obviously, no cussing in the book. So it's going to be, fit for students and things like that. So are some tough issues around drugs, obviously, because of Silk Road. Keep that in mind. But
right.
All right, back to this. I'm on such a rant today, man. I went to a Hawks game last night. He sat right in front of me. Young Jeezy. They just call him Snow now. Young Jeezy. I love Jeezy, man. Jeezy's he's the national anthem. That's what we call the national anthem in Atlanta. It's put on for the city. That's our national anthem here. And he did the national anthem at halftime last night. I was hyped, man. I loved it, man. That was good. Those courtside seats at the Hawks are pretty sweet. We're on the second row. We're trying to get up the front row. We're trying to sit next to you, Jeezy. Trying to sit next to you. So I've got almost as many Twitter followers as he does now. So he's still got about 300,000 more.
You're almost there.
Ethereum 1,200. Binance Coin 268. XRP up a little bit today, 37.5 cents. Look at the biggest gainers of the day. Then we're going to bring Frank up. H-bar with a pump. Where's our H-bar barians? Where's my H-bar barians in the house? Make sure to throw it in there if you guys are in. Guys, we're in the IC people, the H-bar barians. We're in the Cardano community. We're in the XRP army. We might be coming to a community near you one day. We'll see what happens. But Litecoin having another little pump here. It's so funny to see Litecoin on here after I dogged it so bad. It still isn't doing great. It just pumped a little bit. Sticking tough in that top 20. We'll have to see what happens. Helium, a project that got called out by Corey Clemenstein against Andreessen Horowitz for them pumping this coin up. Helium was a very good performer for us in the last bull market, but they were calling him out for some stuff. Toncoin, obviously, we did a review on it. A newer project from Telegram. Very interesting. 7-day movers. We still got Trust Wallet with the biggest mover, GMX, Toncoin, Chain, and biggest losers. Of course, Huobi token, all, basically exchange tokens. Solana, obviously, Casper, and Decentraland. There you go. So a lot of movers to the downside. Now we're going to bring on Frankie Candles to do our charts, guys. Remember, our charts are brought to you by BitGet. You guys can sign up for a BitGet. Sign up for the trading competition. We're going to absolutely crush it. Here's the winner. The number one overall winner of the FEMEX trading competition. 100 Bitcoin on the line on this BitGet. But remember, third-party exchange. Don't put too much of your money ever. Let's go.
That's right. Yeah, guys, we're going to take home this dub on the BitGet competition. Hey, if we do half as good as we did in the FEMEX competition, we should still be way safe to win this one. And we got the BitSquad on our team this time. So let's go. Don't forget, I guess, Drew, do you have that link to throw in the chat?
Yeah, let me get it up for you.
Yeah. Don't forget to sign up for that, guys. But we do have some stuff to look at on the charts here. Not too much has changed since yesterday. I am still leaning a little bit bearish until that bear pennant kind of picks a direction and decides to break down or not. So I am holding my short still. But there are some things on the lower time frames that might indicate a small move to the upside. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at what we got going on here.
Are you at all, Frank, thinking the bottom might be in?
I'll say, so my original bottom prediction, I say this a lot. My original bottom prediction was, mid to low 20s with a possible panic wick down to 18K. That has now happened, and we're now past that. So my next range is about 14 to 12K. I do think, there is a possibility for us to come down to those levels for sure. There is another level at about $9,400. Now, I don't think it's likely we go down there. I don't want people thinking I'm calling for that.
I think 94 is in my realm of possibility.
Yeah, I'm not calling for it, but if we did make it down there, we do have a macro point of control down there, so it would definitely make sense. It's definitely not out of the card, so I would agree with that for sure.
Well, I think I would just like to say that I've really been thinking a lot over this week about where we're at with Bitcoin and how resilient it's held up here. Now, why has it been resilient? Well, all of the Bitcoin's locked up on these exchanges nobody can touch. I think that right there could prevent us from maybe even going to the 10 to 14,000 range. I think there's a possibility and an argument to be made. I'm not saying I believe this for sure. You guys know we've said $10 to $14,000 end of November. We've said it all year long, basically, if you go back and look at the track record. And here we are. But here's what I think about, Frank. I think about the fact that, we nailed the time frame for Bitcoin, or we nailed the time frame for the top of the crypto market, right? Everybody knows we said it was going to 100K. And you know what we did? We got too focused on the number. And we were right in the time frame. And we didn't see it, and it was right in front of us. Now you're looking at this disaster, and we're clearing away the rubble. And it seems like, Bitcoin's definitely going to go down much, much further. It went, what was the low? 15.2? 15.5?
Yeah, I can pull it up exactly here.
The 15s. Okay, now we said we thought the $13.5 to $15,000 range was important and could be where we bounce out of. What would you get that number as?
Yeah, it's like 15.3.
15.3, okay. That number is close enough within the now Crypto Savvy will tell you it's going to $2. Okay, remember that. We love him. It's within the range of error. Is within the what do they call it? Range of error? Margin of error.
Margin of error.
It's within the margin of error where I think the number's close enough that I actually right now think that tomorrow we might make some moves on the portfolio. Because I'm taking into consideration that we nailed the time frame. We missed the number. We said top of the market would be between Halloween and Thanksgiving. We did say top of Bitcoin should be the end of September. Total top of the market between Halloween and Thanksgiving. We didn't know that Bitcoin was going to be the top of the market. So we were definitely very close last year, and we blew it because we're focused on the numbers. We don't want people to get too focused on that range and too focused on the numbers to miss an opportunity that might be right in front of us here. And if all of this Bitcoin is locked up on these exchanges right now and they can't move, remember, I keep telling people this, the amount of insolvency is irrelevant. What's relevant is the number of actual Bitcoin that these exchanges are holding. It can't move right now. They can't liquidate them. And when it starts to happen, it will be one exchange at a time. It won't be all of a sudden all at once. So there certainly could be some things coming in the next 3 weeks that could send us down further. It can happen. But I just want people to remember we were dead on the range last year, but we missed the number. I don't want people to fall to the same thing this year.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point there because we've actually seen Bitcoin kind of not reacting to things like the DXY and the SPY, and I think you have a really good point there. It could have a lot to do with the fact that a lot of people are unable to move stuff around because of this insolvency stuff. Yeah, super interesting and kind of something that could control the price that we're isn't typically there. So super interesting. But let's go ahead and take a look here now. Something to keep an eye on here, guys, kind of what I'm looking at for a potential bottom case. Now, I've made videos before talking about, kind of what I would be looking for on the actual charts for a potential bottom. And the one thing I do want to show you guys is here on Market Cypher B, one of those scenarios that I've brought up before on my channel is the possibility of forming a decent weekly bullish divergence. And we actually have put in some bull divs here as we're on our way down, but they weren't very strong. So the lower low, as we're making lower lows here, and we also have our momentum waves marching up, this could give us a weekly bullish divergence. And that's kind of one of the scenarios that I look for. Because if we get a strong weekly bullish divergence, in my opinion, that could be a really, really good, good place to bottom or a good way to bottom. And, I'm kind of part of the camp here. If we have not bottomed, and, I even hold that, sentiment all the way from before we had this breakdown, this last most recent breakdown. If we're not at the bottom, we're close, right? I've been DCAing in over the past couple of months or few months, but I'm lightly DCAing in. Now we took another leg down. I'm weighing my DCA bags a little bit heavier now. If we drop down a little bit more, I'll weigh them again, make them a little bit heavier. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on. But I am looking for that with these lower lows on price and our momentum waves coming up and making higher lows. Obviously, you would want to wait for this green dot to print and confirm, which we're kind of far away from. So too early to call now, but it is definitely something I'm watching very closely for a potential bottom for the bear market. Now, moving on, these higher daily timeframes, which we're looking pretty bearish, they're not necessarily looking bullish here. However, we do have the VWAPs starting to roll back up on these higher daily timeframes, which could actually be a pretty good sign, but we still do have some time here. You can see the 5-day is starting to roll back up. Let me turn on Market Cypher A. on the 5-day, the 4-day, and then as we roll lower down to these lower time frames, obviously that will continue to creep up. Momentum still somewhat marching forward. We did make a lower low here. Maybe not quite a lower low on the momentum waves, but yeah, like I said, nothing has really changed. I'm gonna remain bearish until we see, until we see this, kind of bear pennant resolve itself here. You can see we are all the way at the tip of this bear pennant. So, the closer to the tip of the pattern you get, the more likely it is to kind of give you a resolution. Now, these do typically break down rather than break up, but it doesn't mean that it has to break down 100%. But until this gets invalidated, I am going to hold my short and remain overall bearish. And then the other main level that I'm watching here to kind of, expect if we are going to get a move to the upside, because something you want to realize here as TradingView freezes, here you go, right? Getting a little bit of a breakout here. We popped out over here, bullishly retested, and now we're getting a move up. And we do also have a 4-hour green dot printing with the money flow on the lower time frame starting to roll to the upside. So we could potentially, see a short-term move up for Bitcoin here because you have a 4-hour green dot is printing. Your 3-hour is also printing a green dot. And then obviously, as you have the money flow on these lower time frames starting to roll back into the green, you can see here your 12-minute is back in the green. Your 15-minute is about to cross over into the green. So this is kind of what I'm watching to see if this 4-hour green dot is going to give us a move. We also do still have our daily green dot. So there are some things in the shorter term that are pointing to the upside. The question is, how well is it going to play out, right? Because just because we have this green dot on the daily doesn't mean we have to get a massive move. We could easily just roll back over. You want to remember we are in a bear market, and you could kind of see here, as of right now, this yellow VWAP is kind of come up and is kind of flopping over. We call that the VWAP flop.
VWAP flop. Gotta love that.
The VWAP flop. So we could just kind of print another red dot here. That's kind of what I'm watching for it. But, we could get support on that zero line. Kind of hard to say. But again, I am leaning bearish until that pennant resolves itself. Some key levels to be watching right now. And I'm going to show you guys real quick another reason why we might get a short-term move up, and it has to do with the SPY. But some key levels that I will be watching here is kind of our local range. Let me see if I can get this profile to print. Internet kind of freaking out here. We got one volume bar. Come on, computer, you could do it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this POC, right, this red line right here, coming in at about $16,780. If we can flip that to support, I would expect to come up to this white box, which is getting into the 17,000s, about 17,200. I've been talking about that level on the 9 p.m. videos. If we were to get a move up, that $17,200 area would be a good place to look for a rejection. But yeah, not much has changed. But again, just to kind of accompany this potential bounce that we could get, you want to realize, guys, we've been looking at this almost every day on the stream here. Bearish divergence on the SPY. We were looking at this, all the way back on this candle as we were actually tapping resistance. We were saying, very likely that we kind of cool off. That next level of support is going to be this level right here at about 389, and we came down and tapped it almost to the dollar there. So that was a beautiful move, but now it is, potential we could see some support as you come down to the lower time frames. You do see we are getting a little bit of a bounce. So as the SPY bounces, it's definitely possible for Bitcoin to follow suit, especially with the 4-hour green dot, the 3-hour green dot, and the other stuff we just looked at. So maybe a short-term move up, but we're gonna have to come up pretty high for me to kind of flip bearish and close out my short. Now, before I jump off, I do just want to cover ETH real quick. I saw you guys in chat.
There they go.
Show ETH. Now, ETH I am leaning a little bit more bearish on, and I'll show you why. If you come on down or come on up to the weekly, I think it's on, we're on Heikinashi's right now, I believe. Yeah, sometimes if you guys use Market Cypher and you're looking at these blood diamonds, yellow X's, I do see they pop up a lot more on the regular candles. So if you're only looking at Heikinashi's, you will miss some of those signals. So I always turn on regular candles. I kind of toggle it on and off, just to see these signals. But we do have another weekly blood diamond that is now confirmed on Ethereum. So this is definitely technically a bearish signal for sure. And then moving on down, our 6-day does not have a blood diamond, but we do have 2 confirmed blood diamonds on our 5-day. as well as, you know, a similar situation with this big old bear pennant on Ethereum, very similar to Bitcoin. However, to add insult to injury here, it does look, depending on how you draw this or what time frame you're looking at it on, it does look like we are actually starting to break down. You can see we popped out, bearishly retested, and then rejected.
That's DXY, you said?
No, this is Ethereum.
Oh, it's Ethereum. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so bearish retest here. So it does look like
it's going down. Yelling Ethereum. Yeah,
you ever hear anybody call Ethereum F?
Oh, you want to hear what's funny, actually? What's funny is, if you guys go and find my music video that I created called Blockchain, which comes from the song Gucci Gang. It was created mutually exclusive of the Hodl Gang song. I've actually met the guy who did Hodl Gang. He always is talking about wanting to do a song for us, which maybe we should do. Maybe it'd be fun. But there was a line on the song where it says, "BitBoy still sell that ETH." Like it's supposed to be like, it looks like he's holding a bag of meth, but it's ETH. And so that was, I used to, in the beginning of my involvement with Ethereum, did actually call it ETH myself. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's stupid. I know, but it fit the rap line very well.
Still,
you guys go find the animated video, blockchain. It's harder to find because if you Google blockchain, BitBoy, like a zillion other videos come up. But it's a gem if you can find it. It's a gem.
I love it. I love that it's still up there.
Yeah.
I also saw you talking to Little Bubble on Twitter.
Yeah,
low key, big Little Bubble fan. Little Bubble, somebody clip this and get this to Little Bubble. Little Bubble, big fan, man. It was cool to see you guys.
I'll tell you this. I don't know. Y'all watch Little Bubble. There might be some cool stuff coming down the road. So we'll see what happens. Hey. We'll see what happens. You guys know we are in a band together, Little Bubble and I. We did the Sam Bankman-Fried is the Devil song.
That's
People
right.
might know that song. It was a big hit. Made an even bigger impact. So, you know what's funny? When he did that song, I said, if I have to become a meme to destroy Sam Bankman-Fried, I will do it. So we did it.
Love it. But yeah, guys, there you go. That bear pennant not looking too good on ETH, especially with the blood diamonds. But that's all I got. Okay. All right. Bing, bang.
I need my freaking show back. Okay. You guys know I do. I'm taking care of my list of things while I'm over there. You know, I'm very busy. Okay. All right. And guys, we got new indicators coming out soon, so you guys pay attention to those. We're gonna be we got a meeting on Friday, I think, to finalize some of this stuff. So very exciting stuff. You guys are gonna see. It's proprietary. This is not, you can't copy this anywhere. What we're gonna be doing. So really cool stuff. All right, moving on here. Price levels are critical for Bitcoin as the crypto contagion hits broader markets. We understand that. The critical price level 16,574. Pre-ordered 10 books as Christmas gift. Crypto Cocktail. You're the man. We appreciate you for sure. We're going to have a different tier list. So, like, if you buy different numbers of books, you're going to get more exclusive stuff with me. 100 books, you get to come to our studio. Come hang out for a day. Have lunch with us. So, that'll be fun. Look, if you buy 100 books, you're a baller. So, make it happen, I guess. But we're going to have different levels for people to do and stuff like that. So, we appreciate all the support with the book. Helps us get the message out of crypto. And right now at a time when it needs it. Okay, let's see. What's going on with these prices? Where's the price we need to look at? Strong close, we need 18,005 multi-year support. Let's see. Pseudonymous Titan of crypto. The Bitcoin power corridor. We're down here near the bottom of that. Yeah. So all the charts are saying Bitcoin's terrible. So there you go. There's the news. Dollar steadies is U.S. spending points to rate hikes. So interesting. So are we gonna get another rate hike? We'll have to look at that as well. So I don't know what that is. Ether staking yields jump up to 25%, all-time high since the merge. Just staking Ether on Lido is paying out 10% annualized, while a more elaborate move bumps yields to as much as 25%. I am really interested. Will I sign your case of books? Yeah, I'll sign your case of books. I'll sign every book y'all bring to the events. I'll sign for sure. I will stay until every book gets signed, I promise. If you've ever been to one of my meetups, you guys will know. People want pictures. That's what they want. You know, a lot of people want pictures. Some people want me to sign stuff, but I stay until every picture is taken. I will never leave anybody out in the cold because I appreciate every single one of my followers, every single one of my subscribers. Everybody that comes to me and they say, thank you so much for everything you've done. No, thank you. If it's not for you, we don't have a channel here. We don't have a voice. We don't have a platform. We don't have the ability to take on billionaires. It's a BitSquad that gives us the power to do that.
Big facts.
Yep. Moosey Mouse, is it safe to withdraw Bitcoin from Coinbase? Sure. I think so. Unless that's changed in the last 5 minutes. I like Lido Finance. I think it's a great project. We did a video on the way that it works. It does certainly give you it gives you the propensity to want to gamble with your money. You have the ability to do that, to take your stake synthetic ETH and go gamble with it and try to get use leverage or whatever the case may be to try to get a return on that, and then come back and pull off your staked ETH and then get that money out. So there are some things about, and that has nothing to do with the project. That's the way it's set up. Omar, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. It gives you the ability to have extra synthetic ETH to do things with. You got to be really careful not to lose that, though, because if you lose your synthetic ETH, you can't get your real ETH back. And once again, even though it's on chain and it seems to be risk-free, we think, what that means is there's also no wiggle room if you lose your money. There's no wiggle room if you can't get it back out because you lose your synthetic ETH. So just be careful what you guys are doing with these stake platforms. Look, 10% return by itself is good. I guess you can't probably do Lido where you take the money and then you restake your synthetic ETH on Lido again. Once you give the synthetic ETH back, I think that deletes the contract. So there's probably some other places you can do it. Rocket Pool is a place where you can do 16 ETH. So if you got 16 ETH laying around, you can do validator nodes there. So technically, I think you can maybe go to Lido, get the synthetic, and then maybe go to Rocket Pool. Somebody can correct me if that's true or not. Not 100% accurate, but Mason and Meg are from Calgary. I don't know what this has to do with Calgary, but we love Calgary. Maybe we'll do a Canadian tour at some point. Maybe we can do that down the road. So. No, he's not. He's 6'3". I thought he was 6'5". I would have bet my life he was 6'5", because Justin and DZ are 6'4", and they don't seem that tall to me. Mason seems very tall to me. But I could have sworn I saw Meg make a video and said he was 6'3". Somebody correct that. Can somebody fact check how tall Mason is? I've always wanted to know how tall Mason is. Maybe he can come in the chat and tell us. He was overwhelmingly tall, I felt like. But I'm only a mere tall man at 5'10", 1 inch above average male U.S. height. So once Gemini busts and Winklevoss twins will be auctioning off their twin clothes 2 for 1. That's it. I don't think Gemini is going to go bust, guys. I think Gemini is fine. Look, that's not a vote of confidence. It may go. You're right. It certainly could. I want to be very careful what I say here. But I think Gemini will be okay. It's their earn program that's all jacked up. Now, how that affects the rest and could be a waterfall, or if Silvergate gets, if some of the rumors people are saying about Silvergate is true, then it could certainly cause that. So just be careful. Somebody said 6'3", somebody said 6'8". I don't know. Will Ben sign Dirty Gary's book? Oh, I will certainly sign a book for Dirty Gary. I'll send him a personal copy. Hey, let's do that. When the book comes out, let's sign it and let's send one personally to Gary. And I'll say this, I don't know if you guys, I don't know, maybe in Washington to hand that, maybe I can hand it to him. Maybe you guys will find out about that down the road. Some stuff we have going on there. All right. Let's go here. Nobody knows when Ethereum stakers will be able to withdraw their ETH. Great. Let's not dump the ETH price. Millions of users successfully able to stake their ETH in the run-up. Now users can take their coins to earn rewards. Now, I thought it was 6 months. Sorry, Bionic. You guys know I need more air. I know people that went to the Bahamas the day FTX went down. Those are kind of people whose investment can't go wrong. Most likely the hack occurred after that was to pay them off. Incorrect. The money from the hack was not about sending money to people. It was about deleting data points. I know that for a fact. So, look, where that money went, it's not important. I don't think that's where it went. But, definitely potentially. But that hack was not the centerpiece of the hack. The centerpiece of the hack was about deleting the data points left behind. It's a fail-safe system created by Dan Freeberg. He did the same thing with Ultimate Bet. So we know this. Before the merger was implemented, a timeline of 6 to 12 months was given. Oh, now they changed that? They removed the 6 to 12 month estimated time. Well, look, guys, here's what I'll tell you. That sucks. I think that puts a little bit of egg on a lot of people's face, including mine, that said there'll probably be no problem there. But guys, you got to understand when it comes to Ethereum, they never do anything on time. And this right here, look, I love Ethereum. You won't hear me throw it under the bus. But things like this is why Cardano is eventually going to pass it. These are the things that you look at. That yes, BJ, our Cardano maximalist, is in the back. He runs our staking pool. He's been running great, by the way, ever since we had the problem about 6 months ago, whatever it was, 5 months ago, who knows, 2.5, I don't know when it was. But I do believe Cardano will eventually pass Ethereum because of things like this. Now, Cardano's got a slow roadmap, and they've had delays. The difference is their delays don't affect people financially the way that the Ethereum ones do. And every time Cardano puts something out, they don't have to go back and fix anything. It's always moving forward. So I definitely believe that Cardano will pass Ethereum. XRP pass Ethereum. They're not really competitors. So if it does, it's just a market cap issue. I can say confidently about Cardano passing Ethereum because Cardano is a competitor to Ethereum itself.
Yeah.
XRP is not a competitor. Ethereum Layer 2 Wars, Starknet launches Stark token. ZK Sync raises $200 million. Guys, you got to be really concerned when you look at projects raising $200 million in this market. That's hard to do. We know we're trying to raise some money for some stuff, and it's been very hard. Guys, you should be skeptical of every new token coming in this market right now. You should be very skeptical of every new coin coming in this market right now. So I don't know anything about Starknet. Don't know anything about ZK Sync. They may be perfectly great. And Layer 2, man, there's never been a bigger use case for Layer 2 than there is right now. But I would just say don't run out and start throwing money into these projects when you see these pump articles about them. We do have a video on Layer 2 platforms coming out soon on the channel. I recorded it yesterday. It's really a description of what roll-ups are. What's the difference between ZK roll-ups and optimistic roll-ups? Optimistic roll-ups, they're just kind of optimistic. They kind of believe what's in the transactions. So that's actually true. So you guys can look that up. Crypto Wrath, I bought tokens off FTX. Go back up. What did that say? Go back up just a little bit. How do I know they're synthetic or not? Does it matter? Or should I be worried? Guys, these coins they're creating are not going on the actual blockchain that can be withdrawn. I don't believe. Now, Hussein might say different. These are created on the exchange to live within the ecosystem of the exchange. So if you can't withdraw a non-chain token on the chain. So I hope that makes sense. So the counterfeit tokens are meant to inflate the supply. You can't actually pull their liquidity. When your ledger video comes out, everybody needs to learn how to remove your coins. Absolutely. The video is going to be coming out very soon. When's the ledger video dropping? They recorded it yesterday, I believe, so it will be very soon. BitLab Academy is who recorded that with us. So we're going to be incubating that channel and moving it to its own channel at some point soon, probably in January or maybe a little bit after, not 100% sure. Around the blockchain, make sure you guys go to BitBoy on YouTube and then go to our listed channels and make sure you subscribe to Around the Blockchain on January 2nd. That's becoming its own channel. So JP Morgan, the shrinking stablecoin market is another sign of investors' exodus from crypto. Absolutely. Combined market cap of the largest stablecoins reached a peak of 186 billion in May before Terra Luna collapsed. Compares with less. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna call bunk on this story. I'll tell you why in a second. I thought about it for just an extra second. I realized something. That compares with less than 30 billion at the start of 2021 and about 5 billion a year before. Since May, stablecoin universe has dropped by 41 billion. Just under half these decline attributed to the demise of Terra. Outflow of 25 billion looks small relative to the 165 billion. The shrinking stablecoin market. Now, is this saying? Let me read this very carefully here. Okay, this story is legit. This is what I want to say about this, guys. What I want to say is stable coins getting removed from the market, stable coins getting removed from exchanges as in outflows. I would not pay attention to those numbers. All outflow and inflow numbers are false now because everyone's pulling off their money for different reasons than they used to do it. This is saying that actually some of the grants and some of the stable coins themselves are getting burned and leaving the market is what they're saying because there's not as much demand for liquidity. That is actually a bad thing, seemingly to point us into accumulation. Kelly showed me a chart this morning, Drew. Yeah. And man, I tell you what, it really makes me think, man, we're going to be dead on about this time frame for the bear market, I believe. I know Crypto Savvy thinks we're going down further, but if you look at the accumulation range we're in and you look at the number of wallets per size of amount of Bitcoin they hold, almost every single wallet over the last 3 months has turned into accumulation.
Well,
Almost
what a good time to
Yep.
release your book, Catching Up to Crypto,
There you
right
go.
as the people are accumulating.
That's right. While people are accumulating, it's going to be really great. By the way, guys, smash the like button. Who didn't smash the like button?
Yeah.
Who didn't smash it?
What's the deal?
Oh, here's Kelly. Yeah. You'll come talk? Can you pull it up real quick? Oh, it's on your Twitter. Look at Kelly. He's a shameless promoter.
You know what? Sometimes
There he
you got to
is.
take the scarf off and get to work.
Give me that thing. Give me that thing.
Wrap it up, baby. First off, I just hope everybody, wherever you're at in the market, however you're positioned, we really wish the best for everybody. And we're doing our best to give as much content and value so y'all can make the right decisions and navigate this market as best possible. So where's your Twitter at up here? All right, so here we go. I just put these charts together about 10 minutes ago. And
Why does this remind me of Zorro? It shouldn't.
yeah. So
It's me, BitBoy.
how do you
I
zoom?
saw that video on Twitter.
Yeah. So here we go. So here, as you
I'm gonna let Kelly do it.
So as you can see here on the left side of this chart, you can see these are all the different wallet sizes, different cohorts in the market. On the right side, the blue and the red, the further red you go, the more distribution or selling pressure you have. The more blue you go, the more buying pressure you have and accumulation. And as you can see right here, all the way through, this is all the way through February of 2022. This was very scattered and different wallet sizes were interacting with the market differently. Where we're at right now, and as Zorro will also agree, we have all blue here, different levels of blue, but essentially all wallet sizes are accumulating. Now, this does not mean that the bull market is set to start right now and it's immediately, full on. But what this shows and what you need to look at when you see these sorts of signals, it's just one ingredient in the pot that we need to start now looking at for other ingredients that could start signifying that a bottom may have been put in or is near. And I will absolutely say that I do think it has. I do. It just depends on what alphabet soup you're building,
Cool.
But yeah, long story short, I think there's a lot of different signals that are cluing us in that there's a region that we're entering. I personally think as much of these signals show that there's a lot of accumulation going on. And on the tweet, you'll see it disappeared, but you can go back to full screen. Essentially, there's when we look at what happened with Celsius and Voyager and Three Arrows Capital, it took 3 to 5 weeks before these things really cascaded and really the whole mess played out. And as we're seeing now, that mess actually took all the way until now with FTX because they were wrapped in all this. So my point being, as much as we're seeing signals that are very bullish, how I'm interpreting that is this is now a time to basically bide our time a little bit. We do, regardless of what the signals are saying, it's time to be a little bit patient, let the market sort of shake about, find its footing, in this loose sand that the market is right now. And then as these things mature and time plays out and all the contagion sort of shows its face, then you can really start looking for really, really excellent and bold DCA moments that you can really drop heavy, which is what my plan is. And with that, back to Zorro.
This guy likes to drop heavy. I saw somebody shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. Guys, this is Kung Lao. Oh, I literally just killed Kelly. This is the #1 team in the country right here, guys. This is Georgia Bulldogs. Tennessee was a great competitor a couple weeks ago.
No longer.
Look, I think Tennessee's good. I want to see Tennessee in the championship game. This is my Final Four.
That was amazing.
This is my Final Four for college football. #1, Georgia. #2, Ohio State. #3, Tennessee. #4, TCU. We will blow TCU away, and then we'll play Tennessee in the championship game. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm not sure if I'm going to go. Now, we have our suite for the Atlanta playoff game, which should be Georgia. They're the #1 seed, I believe. So it'll be fun, but I don't know if I'm going out to LA for the championship this year. So CZ Binance making hint that crypto started in 1996 opposed to 2008. That's why crypto 1996 token is mooning. That sounds like a scam. Stay away from that. Okay. All right. Moving on here. U.S. Senator Gillibrand, who I've been told is very good for crypto. I've been told from people that know her personally that are into crypto, says that she is a good actor in this space. It says the last ditch stablecoin bill may still emerge this year. We'll see what happens. Hopes a regulatory bill will be introduced in the next few weeks. Will not be voted on in the next few weeks. You guys keep that in mind. That takes time. Uniswap website goes dark for some users after Cloudflare routing problem. If you don't know Cloudflare, they host a lot of these decentralized exchanges and decentralized sites. It is a centralized service. This is when we get into the crux of what is really decentralization. ICP will tell you probably on Friday when I interview them that they're the only decentralization that exists because everything occurs actually on their blockchain. They don't need AWS. They don't need Cloudflare. They don't need any of those things. I think this is a big, it's a big advantage for them to have. I've talked to other people that say that Ethereum, the way they use Amazon Web Services, is the only way anything's going to be able to scale in mass. So, there's pros and negatives to that. Terra Luna Guard, or Terra Labs Luna Guard, this was the LFG fund, if you remember, commissioned audit to defend against allegations of misusing funds. Audit found that LFG spent 80,000 Bitcoin and 49.8 million in stable coins to defend the UST peg. That was consistent with what they indicated in their tweets, that they spent, in addition, $613 million to defend the peg. Audit was conducted by the United States. Okay, so it looks like they did not misuse funds. They found that these numbers are accurate. Now we get into, can you trust the auditors? I don't know this auditor enough to say yes or no. this auditor was actually the government that did the no, it says a third-party audit. Tether's had some third-party audits that say great stuff about it. So, take that for what it's worth. But I generally do not believe that Terra did anything wrong. I don't think they did anything illegal. Okay. I talked about this yesterday on Scott Melker's show, Wolf Wall Streets. I always equate Do Kwon to someone who kills someone in a car accident on total accident. Spill coffee, you run a red light, you kill somebody. Total accident, but you still get held responsible for it. I think that's, I really like what Scott Melker said. He said it was the hubris of Do Kwon that led to this. It wasn't malice. And I think that is an important distinction when you look at someone like Sam Bankman-Fried that was literally malice, and we've been able to trace it all the way through. Do Kwon was just a little hard-headed, and it led to people losing a ton of money, just like with FTX here. Who lost more money, Terra Luna or FTX? I think it's Terra Luna, correct?
Well, I think it was FTX.
What was Terra Luna at the top on the market cap?
We're gonna have to
let's go back and look. When was the top of Terra Luna? Probably November of last year. Let's see. Well, actually, we can just go look at Terra Luna. What do they call it? Luna Classic now? How stupid.
Yeah, Luna Classic.
So freaking stupid. I hate these. I hate that. All at the peak, the market cap would have been $116 billion. No, that's the price. No, that's the price. That's the price. What's the market cap? Market cap. Here we go. Market cap. That doesn't count. Right here will be the top. 41 billion. They're saying the total FTX hold, counting all the things they own, is 50 billion. So Terra Luna actually would not be as much as FTX. So you lose track of what is real and what's not real in market caps. It could have said 700 billion. I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Right.
That's what it seemed like at the time.
Right.
Okay. Moving on. We got just another couple minutes before Reef comes on. Crypto exchange Gemini suffers $485 million rush of outflows amid contagion fears. I told you guys this. I don't think there's anything wrong with Gemini right now. There could certainly be repercussions or things that occur because of other places going defunct and out of business and insolvent. I think I'm not telling you to have money on these exchanges. I think Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Crypto.com, Gemini, I think those are generally going to make it through this without a ton of collateral damage. But where's a safe place to take Cardano long term? The BitPool. Go to bitboycrypto.com and you can get to the BitPool from there. We do Cardano staking on our pool, so you guys can check that out. Yes. So do you agree with me on that list, or do you think? Yeah,
man, I'm off exchanges. Everything's in a ledger. It always has been, though. I'm more concerned about cybersecurity. So I was already on a ledger before all this happened. So.
KuCoin. Wow, KuCoin. I don't know about KuCoin yet. I think KuCoin's probably going to be fine too.
Yeah.
Well, what you're going to find is these projects that go down, they were borrowing customer funds. If they were not borrowing customer funds, not for an earn program. From an earn program, it's fine if they let you know that they're borrowing your funds to do stuff. Like Celsius, well, wasn't fine. It is a disaster, but it's not illegal. These exchanges that have been borrowing customer funds to do illegal trades with, they're the ones that all end up going down. So I think this is a great way to bring down the space, bring down the bad actors in space. Somebody said something about Bybit. Yeah, Bybit has published, guys, those large leverage exchange sites, they seem to be fine so far. So, Bybit, Femex, BitGet, they all seem to be fine so far. But remember, look, BitGet is a sponsor of ours. We have gone back to sponsors, exchange, great week for exchange sponsors, right? But we think BitGet, they published their proof of reserves or their proof of audit, whichever one it was, that they are solvent. And those are questions that we asked them going into this partnership. But look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, just like Jesse Powell from Kraken, he's a CEO and he tells you, don't keep money on this exchange. Don't keep money on these exchanges. Don't keep money on Bybit. If you're going to trade, have your nest egg small enough so that if you bust out or they go insolvent, you don't lose everything. You still are okay. It's about diversification. Yeah. Centralization, we hate it. Centralized exchanges, they're the devil. But yet we need the liquidity they provide for long-term traders and day traders. So it is a necessary evil. But don't ever get the message mixed here. Don't ever store funds on these exchanges. They're not a bank account. So there you go.
I want to acknowledge the chat. Uphold. They reminded me. That's the one exchange that.
Which one? Uphold.
Uphold. Yeah, I leave some.
You
do
on
there.
Oh,
I do.
Wow, that's that.
I know.
I would think that's a risky one.
I know. Oh, it's more of a bank.
Uphold XRP Army's exchange of choice because they didn't save to Gary, or they didn't cave to Gary's little wiener energy. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
It's a good mediocre wiener. Look, real quick, I'm going to run through these stories. We got to get Reef on. So we're just going to run through these real quick. Crypto liquidity provider B2C2 offers to purchase loans from Genesis. SBF received $1 billion. Don't ever think this guy's not a criminal. Received $1 billion in loans from Alameda. So there you go, from the bankruptcy filing. Sam Bateman-Fried says he regrets filing for bankruptcy because he thinks he could. Guys, remember this number. In his life, he's raised $1.7 billion. He's now trying to tell you in 2 weeks he's going to try to raise $8 billion.
Yep.
In a bear market at the bottom where no one has any money to do anything. This guy's delusional, narcissistic, degenerate, gambling.
It seems
What's
like
the
an
other? What's
addict.
what's the
He's
other?
like an
Sociopath.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
this guy is.
Absolutely.
He's a sociopath for sure. Bahamian FTX liquidator cites serious fraud and mismanagement in court filings. Shocker. Coinbase CFO says full contagion impact of FTX will collapse. Still to show. Absolutely, I agree with her 100%. But will we feel it all at one time? I think the answer to that is no. Tom Brady and Larry David facing class action for endorsing FTX. Man, I sure am glad FTX never reached out to us to sponsor anything we ever did, because we had faith in them at one time a year ago or so. But I've been told it stinks to me making fun of Sam's hair that we never got the opportunity to work with FTX. I want to go back to the poll we put up a year and a half ago.
See what the results are.
70% of you said I shouldn't make fun of his haircut. Put the poll up, Drew. Put a new poll up. Put a new poll up. Should I make fun of Sam's hair? Put the poll up. Let's see what it is today. Let's go. Let's take a quick check on our Twitter poll we put up a minute ago as well. Let's see. 93.6% say no. So about 6.4% of people are saying, and I don't know if you do the math on what the percentage of people in the United States that are felons are. It may be about 6.4%. So no offense. I only don't have felonies because I got stuff dropped back when I was in my hard times, back when I was a teenager in early 20s. So nothing against people that have felonies. So, some people that have felonies are bad people, but some, they make mistakes. They regenerate and things like that, which is good stuff. But what I'm saying here is you have to have an angle here to vote yes on this.
Yeah.
You have to have an angle, and it might be their angle. I don't know what it is. Tom Brady, we talked about this. Contagious spreads. Will ETH and Grayscale. Oh, man, that's a whole other story. I don't even have time to get in this. Let's bring on Reef. Let's bring him on. Danko, what is going on?
Hello, hi. Nice to again.
Yeah, nice to see you. Nice to see you. So what we want to do here is we want to talk a little bit about FTX and about Alameda and what your experience was. I know you guys had a blog post. I'll try to pull it up. You guys had a blog post, I think. How long ago was that? About 5 months ago, about kind of what Alameda and FTX was doing to you guys?
It was over a year ago.
Over a year ago. Year ago, this was put out. Wow, that's and where was that? Was that on Medium?
Yes.
Okay.
It was on Medium.
I'm going to pull that up for reference so people can see. So kind of talk about a little bit about your experience. And by the way, I want to applaud you, Danko, for coming on the show today, because we've already had multiple projects who have been involved in this and been screwed by FTX refuse to come on. And that's their right. I'm not saying that's not their right to do, but there's few people in this space right now that are willing to be brave and to step up and to tell the truth and to sound the alarm bells on what really occurred. So first, I really want to thank you for coming on the show and applaud you for that. So go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into kind of what your experience, how it started and what happened.
Great. Thanks for having me as well. So I think what would in order for like your users to understand the whole, I want to start first from what happened to us as a project and then I want to like expand a little bit on the whole landscape, why I feel we are where we are, what the problems are, and how can and what I think are basically the to make this landscape much more resilient than it used to be, because that's our only job. So
you guys see the difference in the tone of people that really care? People that care about the space, this is what they're saying. Anybody that's trying to defend what's occurred, those are the bad actors. So, all right, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, like Alameda and they had some social back a year and a half ago as good investors. Usually, the projects that they would invest in, they would do well. So obviously, from the outside, the assumption was that these guys have some strategic value add, and that it's like not super, to attract those big names. So the project really needs to have like strong fundamentals in order for that. That was the idea, right? So when they approached us, it was a pretty exciting day, because we were like, oh look, they probably made research on our project. They saw our tech because it's open source, and now they want to basically project. So this is really good news. And then we started discussing. See, basically you have these like developers that are very on the actual tech, and they do not have a lot of experience with talking to sharks, because there is no other word than this. And what's happening is just like I used to be. So I'm like, okay, this is great news. I talked to my team. They're like, yes, for sure, we definitely want them to be part of the project. Let's discuss terms. And then we were discussing terms, and they're like, we really believe in the ecosystem. We believe this would work very with our other ecosystem, which is, they were backing Solana, and there is synergies. We like that you are able to connect to other blockchains as well. So I think this would make it like a perfect combination. And then we were even more excited because our theory that they want to add strategic value seemed reasonable. So what happened is they're like, okay, like what kind of check size are you looking at? And guys, they barely get in, like they don't bother to write small tickets. So when new projects that are still not there, when they want to pitch them, they would just ignore them. So until they get on big exchange like Binance, this exchange also adds a lot of validation that the project is good. They're willing to take a look. So long story short is, like, we are talking about like the size of the deal. We agreed on some numbers. We gave with them like some vesting schedule, which seemed super reasonable. And then they're like, look guys, we're Alameda. We are like completely different. We have like we are very big, and our reputation is huge. So when it to this size of a deal, we want like special treatment, we want discount, we want no vesting, but we are very transparent. You will be able to see your tokens on chain. Basically, the other day I saw yesterday someone posted a screenshot of Sam's chat,
Right.
and he
With
said
Vox.
a word. I think it was called like shibboleth or something.
Yeah.
So basically, what this word does is, you have these people, they're just words. So they think that they just have to say the right words, but absolutely no action backing these words. And that's another problem that we have in the space. So you have two types of actors: people that know how to words, just mix up some words, we'll build this, we'll build that. They're just salesmen. They have no clue what they're even promising. You have a lot of projects, by the way, that do this. They don't know like anything about the tech, but they know the right words to say.
Right.
Same with these VCs that will add strategic value add, but in reality, there is no backing of the promises or those claims. So once we started this transaction was supposed to be happening over like a longer period of time, like let's say 2 weeks. So there is there is what they are saying. We have enough time to react if something goes wrong. So we initial action, we did like a quarter of the deal, and I was like, okay, like maybe do some paperwork. Like, I assume you guys are like big, so you have some process. Obviously, they had zero.
Yeah.
Now after a year and a half, we've seen that. So I'm like, are we gonna draft a contract? Like, how are we gonna sign this deal? Like, hey guys, we will do that for sure. No worries about that. We just fast. Let's get done with like a portion of the deal, so you can see that we are serious. To like send the funding first, and then we will follow up later with our legal team to put structure.
Okay, can I pause you right here? Let me pause you right here. So we're right at the point where you're about to sign the deal. You're looking at the deal. I want to answer a couple questions in the chat that we've had before, and I want to summarize kind of what you've said so far, so people are caught up. Guys, I understand the audio is not perfect. I understand that. We're going to get through it. I think he's, obviously not very close to us here in the United States right now. So we're trying to do the best we can with the audio. And no, guys, this is not sponsored anyway. This is telling the story of what FTX did. This is the story of what FTX did to Reef. If you pull up my my screen real quick, Drew, you guys can. Oh no, that's the Nancy Pelosi story. Okay, here we go. Nancy Pelosi just stepped down as leader of the Democratic Party. This is a Medium post. You guys can find it on the Reef Medium, our official response to recent events regarding Alameda. So you guys can go and you guys can read this and see everything that they said. This was published March 15th, 2021. So like you said, it's about 9 months ago, long time ago. I want to summarize quickly what he said because it's very important to see how this connects to Hussein yesterday with New Genesis. Number one, they say they want to be a partner. You went into it the same way that Hussein went into it, which is, oh, Alameda, you know, they had a lot of really successful projects. They give you all these promises on the front end. You think it's going to be good. They asked to look at your code, right? Which is exactly what Hussein said they did in New Genesis. They stole directly out of the New Genesis code to help create their new social media, their social media idea they tried to sell to Elon Musk. So we're seeing a lot of the comparisons and a lot of the same things here that Hussein said yesterday. What we want to establish is Alameda and FTX were predators, and they had an MO, a modus operandi, that they went after time after time after time after again. And what you're going to find, I think, when you're talking about the contract here, once again, this lines up exactly with the New Genesis experience. So they're right here. They're about to sign the contract. You were talking about liquidity. Go ahead and take it from there, Denko.
Yeah. So basically, at that point, once we've actually transacted with them, there was that we indicated from the very beginning has to be an on-chain address. It should not be an exchange address. Yep. And then the funds will be there. And then when there is like liquidating, we will, because it's a big amount, we want to make sure that, you know, what they wanted, there will be some trans, you know, so we you know, the token holders, they have certain expectations. Basically the transparency that was promised. We didn't ask for anything more than that. So once they received the tokens and the stables, like, it was good for the first 2 days, and suddenly all the tokens were taken on Binance. In these 2 days, they prepared, we prepared a press release, we published the press release, a lot of coverage. They listed Reef on FTX, and then 3 days later, they took all the tokens on Binance.
Wow.
And they pumped the price because the press release went up. So the moment it was announced, the market is fast. Like they were behind this. So they're like, look, guys, wait, what happened here? Took all the tokens on Binance, like all of them, the whole chunk, even though we said that there won't be any selling anytime because you have to help us.
So let me understand what you're saying here. What you're saying here is that they took all the tokens over to Binance, and what that did is that left a liquidity hole, a supply crunch on FTX, and that pumped the price up?
No, they took the tokens on Binance and they did that there or on FTX. Obviously, you cannot know because the arbitrageurs just made sure that the prices match. So then I was like, okay, this seems positive, but this was not the deal that we made. Like they took all of our tokens on Binance. So I was like, very politely asked for them to take the tokens back. Just bring it out. We want to see them on chain.
God, they're
nothing
monsters.
Special, no pressure, very kind. And then they're like, absolutely not. Like, we're not going to do that. It's like, yeah, but part of the deal was, you know, don't take the token for the users. We can label that address so people understand that these are big. They're like, no, we're not going to do that. Let's proceed with, and they're like, let's proceed with the other trend, with the other part of the transaction. Like, guys, we said that this will first not be 3 days. Transaction will much longer first. And second, you already violated something that we agreed on. And they're like, okay, it's very simple. If you do not give us the rest of the deal, just send us the tokens and we send you the dollars. We will make sure that we kill the project, that the project will be dead. These are the words.
They're monsters. Like what they're, this is why he has to be called a criminal, and people have to stick to the facts of what they did to destroy project after project. and they're leveraging it against you. What I'm interested to hear, Danko, as we continue this story is, you know, what did they offer you eventually to try to be quiet? Because that was their MO as well, try to get people to be quiet about this and buy people off. And some of these projects couldn't be bought off. So I'm sure we'll get to that, but they're just monsters. Like I can't believe that this was going on. And you guys try to sound the bell. We started sounding the bell a few weeks ago. You've been warning, or a couple months ago, you've been warning people since March that this was going on. And I bet, yeah. Danko, so, I bet that you caught flack for this. The people said that you guys were in the wrong and they were right, and they called your project a scam. I guarantee you that's what happened. Was that your experience?
Yeah. So basically, you know, the biggest problem here is with all these project founders is they're afraid to say anything because somehow saying and being objective of what's going on will be a fad. You know, they're very scared for the optics of the project, but if you don't react on time and this gets prolonged and prolonged and prolonged, we see what happens. Things just blow up. So you have to, whenever something bad happens, even between projects, even between VCs, this needs to be communicated like transparently. So that's what we did. We went out there. I took screenshots, by the way, of all the chats, and then what they said, they so and I was like, okay, there's nothing for me to hide. This was the deal. They're like, I don't know how you're planning to kill the project, but we will not proceed with this deal until you take the tokens out, and then we go back to you know, level 0 where we started, and then we go from there. And they're like, no, thank you very much. Bye. They deleted the group on Telegram, which I took screenshots of. It's part of the Medium blog post.
Yeah.
And then they said,
guys, I see, by the way, where I've been saying 9 months. Yeah, you're right. That was like a year and 9 months ago. I'm sorry. I get my years confused. Yes. It's gone. This bull run's gone by so quickly. You've been saying this for a year and a half, over a year and a half. So I want to point out that fact check by Gankman there. Thank you. So go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens next is they pushed this tweet. FTX/Alameda is not associated to Reef. They released on FTX a poll. Should we delist projects that rug pulled? I mean, what?
Unbelievable. Here's a tweet. You can pull up. Guys,
they know how to delete tweets.
Yeah. You guys can see on the Medium post, all this is posted. This is from Sam Trabucco, who's definitely involved in all of this stuff. They're not affiliated. Remember, he told you the contract they had with them, right? They had the contract. Now, Sam, this guy's a piece of garbage as well. We haven't even got to throw in this Sam Trabucco under the bus yet. And I'll tell you this, Brett Harrison, if you don't respond to me on Twitter and make yourself very clear on which side of this you stand on, we're coming after you too, bud. And remember when I told Sam we were coming after him, what that meant. We are exposing these bad actors. Sam Trabucco is a terrible human piece of garbage. You see the lie here. You see what he threatened Reef, and then he came out and said they're not associated. And then they came out and they put out a poll. Should FTX delist coins that have rug pulled? FTX stole all their money. FTX stole all their coins and then put this out there. You can't make this stuff up. And yet everybody was willing to put their nose up in this guy's sphincter and say, great job, Sam. We love your fro. Even though everybody hates it, we think it's great. This is BS. This pisses me off. Continue on, Danko. Danko doesn't piss me off. FTX pisses me off.
This guy is like the executor, you know? Like you have someone at the top and then they just go and they just do whatever they're told to do. In this case, Sam Trabucco is the executor. One of them. Like there are multiple people involved in this, including Ryan and everyone else.
Yep.
So so what happened is I took screenshots, luckily, and some of those things that they claimed afterwards, I posted the screenshot. Our tweet had 10 times more likes and retweets, so obviously the public agreed with us. And then a couple of days later, Sam blocked me, by the way, on Twitter back then. I'm still blocked.
Oh, big surprise! He blocked me too. He hates when people are right.
Yeah, exactly. And then he wrote some vague tweet where this is why we should not get involved in PR wars, where it's very asymmetric, where like FTX is huge while Reef is small in their eyes. And they're like, yeah, that's why we should not go in PR wars, because we might lose the PR war and we might lose some reputation. So basically, that was kind of like a soft apology, very vaguely written, but obviously, you know, that the again, just words, just the mask.
Yeah.
They call it the front. They call it the front. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is the story. This is the problem, and I think those players, they got overly aggressive. They got so greedy. They they started getting involved in so many things, and in order to get involved in so many things and overscale, he thought that this machine where they would just keep printing money will last forever. So they're like, oh, we might as well take the users' funds and start funding all of our ventures and see what happens. But obviously, this might work in a bull run, but when something like this happens, things implode. We're back to like we're getting closer to fundamentals. So the projects that are actually building, projects like Reef, projects like Cardano, projects like Ethereum, like Polygon, those projects are building. So fundamentals are the only thing that will differentiate these projects for all the noise that being pushed in the bull market. And then for your users, what I wanted to quickly discuss, it's a food for thought. Basically, you can split this landscape into two parts. You have the blockchain, the tech, the innovation, why we are all here, and then you have the centralized part of the system that's connecting this world with the liquidity of everything else, pretty much. And then I call the second part the price discovery mechanism. And then you have two players here. You have the exchanges and you have stablecoins. And when we talk regulation, currently, I think there is no clear distinction between those two worlds, and people don't exactly understand what they have to regulate. Well, it's very simple. The price discovery mechanism, which is exchanges and stablecoins, they need to be regulated so that users are protected. That's it. And it's not very hard to do, because all the public listed companies on NASDAQ, they have to do the annual reports, the quarterly reports. So this is what the stablecoin operators need to do. This is what some of the exchanges, they're super legit, I believe are super legit, like Binance and Kraken and Coinbase. They do this. But the price discovery mechanism is not comprised just of those. You have all these other players around,
the market makers,
that can exactly. So yeah, this is something that we really need to improve. Now it's really good time to do it, because there is a crisis. So never let a good crisis go to waste. We have to make this whole landscape more resilient. That is it. And we don't want regulation to stop innovation under any circumstances, but we want the people participating in this landscape to be protected from losing all of their money. We're not here talking about people losing the money because they bought on leverage and they lost the money because they wanted to gamble. They lost the money by just existing in the landscape because of players like FTX. It's absolutely not fair.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And, we're doing our own bill that I think fits exactly what you're talking about. So what I would like to do, Danko, is I would like to get whatever information you guys are comfortable sharing with me in terms of screenshots. We're putting together an evidence package that's going to be going out to different influencers to put this information out, as well as going out to the authorities. We've got a former senator that we're working with that is going to be dispersing these evidence packages to all of the regulators, so we know for a fact that they're getting it and there will be action done. So whatever you're willing, comfortable to share with me. We have an event we're doing at the end of the month in Dubai, the last Saturday of the month, to raise money for our bill. I'd like to see some information on our bill, because I think you guys are going to really line up with what we're wanting to do. I think so. You guys send me that. I'll send you guys the information on the bill. Maybe we guys can have some synergy on that. But I appreciate you coming on. I think this has been very fascinating. The parallels, and I think this is important. Danko, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. We'll chat later on Telegram. You guys can check out Reef. You guys hear the story. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Danko. Okay. Guys, what we're trying to establish here, and this is why we're having ICP coming on. ICP is not going to come on the show. We're going to do a separate standalone video with ICP, because we want to give ICP the opportunity to kind of retell their story on what their project is too. Not just about the FTX debacle, but FTX screwed them so hard, and they've got such a big community that we really want to do them justice, put out a standalone video. Not that we didn't want to do that for New Genesis or for Reef, but I went and met with ICP last week. Very, very encouraged by a lot of the stuff that I heard from Dominic. He seems like a great guy. And I think that what people are going to find is we are establishing a predatory practice that FTX did. And I see people in the chat saying, we know FTX is bad. And guys, you don't. You really don't know yet how bad this is. And when this stuff starts to come out slowly but surely, and other influencers, you know, I'm sending a bunch of stuff to CoffeeZilla. I'm getting a folder made up for him so he can put out this stuff. Guys, people have to understand what happened here. This is more than just the quick story. Let's bury it and move on. You want to know why? Because if we stop beating this horse, it'll stop running, and these people will get off scot-free. And the model that they built will be a model that the next predatory financial person comes into the space and tries to use. We're not going to let that happen. You know, I was talking to my wife yesterday. Obviously, you know, she's not letting me go to the Bahamas. Thanks, hon. But, you know, she was saying, you know, it's amazing that all of a sudden you had all of these people out there trying to recuperate his image, and you came in and just straightened out the narrative, and now everybody's back on track. And that's the voice that we've developed in this space, and we take that responsibility with such weight. But I'm telling you, we are going to see this through. If you want a channel that's going to let him off the mat, then you go somewhere else. We're not going to let him off the mat. We're going to take that little throne. We're going to shove it right back in the ground. Right back in the ground. Right there. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. 79% of people say they still want me to make fun of his haircut. So 79% of people, you are on the right side of history, because it didn't matter if it was 12%. That side was still going to be the right side of history. So I'm sorry. There's a couple haircuts out there. You guys know the ones. Janet Yellen, Brad Sherman, SPF, and I got to say Mark Davis. I mean, I've had a lot of Mark Davis fanboys coming up saying, stop making fun of the man's haircut. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'll tell you what, if Josh McDaniel will win a game, I'll stop making fun of his haircut. That's a Raiders joke. Nick DeMonte's watching. I know he loves that. But guys, we want to establish a predatory practice here, a predatory routine that they would go through over and over and over again. And I want to say this, there's 18 projects Alameda shorted. Sandbox was one of them. Gala was one of them. Gala hates me because I've said I don't like their coin. Well, Gala, if you want to come tell your story on what Alameda and FTX said and did to you guys, if there is a story there and you have evidence, maybe there's not, maybe they just shorted it, and maybe Gala was just going down anyways. You're certainly welcome to come on the channel to talk about that. I'll treat you with respect. Yeah. Immutable X, another project. Same thing. Ronin token from Axie Infinity. We would love to talk to you. We would love to talk to Sandbox. Obviously, Animoca Brands behind Sandbox. We love Animoca Brands. You know, I don't know what the deal is between Sandbox and them getting shorted by Alameda, but if there's a story there, we want to tell it. We want to tell the story of all of these coins that FTX has done the same exact thing to. And we're going to continue to say it. We're going to continue to talk about it. And we're going to continue to not let this guy off the mat. We will be putting Old Yeller down. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.